Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, coming to you from Washington, D.C., Congressman Stephen Horsford of CD4, here for the whole program of an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
The 13th annual Nevada Newsmakers Goes to Washington is brought to you by Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you. NV Energy proudly serves Nevada, providing electricity to 2.4 million electric customers. The Nevada Mining Association, mining a better future for Nevada. Silver State Government Relations, we know Nevada, so you don't have to. And University Medical Center of Southern Nevada, offering the highest level of care in Nevada.
The trucking industry is the most resilient link in the supply chain, moving 95% of our freight in the Silver State. And while essential, the road isn't always smooth. Supply chain disruptions, rising fuel costs, and unrealistic rules and laws that hamper our ability to serve our customers and country. Our prosperity in every sector of the economy, manufacturing, mining, medicine, and food from farm to table, is tied to trucks. There's nothing without trucking.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
A power line is more than a power line. It's maintaining the bottom line for small businesses. It's keeping the assembly line moving for our workforce. For our brightest minds, it's meeting a deadline. It's on the front line with our heroes. And on the sidelines of the biggest games. It's a direct line to our loved ones. And it's a lifeline for the most vulnerable. There's a lot on the line.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, coming to you from Washington, D.C., we are delighted, as always, to welcome back to the program Congressman Stephen Horsford of CD4. Pleasure to have you back, sir.
Thank you, Sam. Good to be on.
Let's start out with, we're staying, my wife and I, on the D.C. Wharf. And we are seeing on a nightly basis the National Guardsmen patrolling on the D.C. Wharf, which I would think is probably one of the safest places in Washington, D.C. What are your thoughts about the National Guard in D.C. and the effect they've had so far, if any?
Well, first, my focus is about public safety back home in Nevada. That's the people that I work for and that I'm accountable to. And I believe that every community in America should be safe. Safe from crime, safe from drugs, safe from targeting, and safe from over-policing. And unfortunately, in this moment, you have the President of the United States choosing to use our military, in this case, the National Guard, to police U.S. cities. And say what you want about the management of these cities. We need to be able to work with our local mayors and county execs, state governors and legislatures where they apply to make sure that they have the tools and the resources they need. I actually worked on legislation called the Break the Cycle of Violence that actually provided federal dollars in support of making communities more safe, to prevent crime before it happens, to save lives, and to ultimately provide opportunity, because that's how you avoid some of the situations with crime that's happening in far too many of our cities. So I hope that we'll be able to get past this moment, but in the meantime, I'm focused on the issues that matter back home to Nevada, and one of them is to make sure that all of our communities are safe.
Okay, but just to talk about, the mayor of D.C. has said that she's grateful for the support. And carjackings have dropped tremendously in D.C. Do you approve of that side of it? She also said she'd like to have 800 more police officers.
Well, that's the point. So unfortunately, the District of Columbia is, because they don't have their own members of Congress that vote or United States senators, they don't have the same representation. They don't have a governor that can advocate for their state. And in the last budget fight, Republicans here in Congress actually cut $1 billion from the District of Columbia. I'm sure that they could use those dollars to hire more police, to put more resources where they're needed, to provide more opportunities to young people. That's ultimately what we should be doing for every American city, including the nation's capital.
Just one other question on this topic. Several governors around the state and several mayors have said that they would not be opposed to having the National Guard support as long as it was under their jurisdiction rather than the federal jurisdiction. Mm-hmm. Would that be okay with you?
Well, the National Guards in every other state do report to the governors of those states. And when there is an emergency, when there's a declared disaster, those National Guardsmen and women go in to support as ordered. The difference here is that the National Guard, unfortunately, because they don't have the same representation, the president has this unilateral authority. But still, the root causes of what this community is facing is what far too many of our cities across the country are facing. And I'm focused on providing solutions to crime and to address the root causes of crime so that every community can be safe.
Let's change topics to vaccinations and the COVID vaccination. At this point, I recall over the last 2 years that my doctor, my family doctor, has said that the effects of the COVID vaccine itself were worse than getting COVID at this point. What are your thoughts on what's going on a federal level as far as the vaccinations and the inability at this point, especially in Nevada, of companies like CVS and Walgreens saying we're not going to be able to deliver these vaccines at this point until we get federal permission?
Well, what I'm concerned about is why we've made healthcare and prevention of serious illness partisan issues. We should trust the science and the experts. We should trust doctors and experts who understand ways to prevent major illness. Not only have we been able to save lives as a result of the vaccinations for COVID, but we've been able to eradicate other forms of disease because of vaccination. Now, making sure that the science is clear, that the research is funded, that the information is public and transparent is a part of that process too. I serve on the subcommittee for healthcare and ways and means, and that's part of our job, is to make sure that there is this oversight and accountability as well as transparency. But currently under this administration and with the current Secretary of Health and Human Services, we have more partisanship around vaccinations than we do ensuring the efficacy and the use of vaccines to help save lives. And that troubles me a great deal.
Okay, so what can Congress do about it?
Well, first is let's stop defunding the Center for Disease Control and NIH, National Institutes of Health. These are the agencies where the experts are, where the healthcare providers are, where the researchers are. Again, you don't have to agree with every position that they take, but let's make sure that they have the appropriate resources. And I'm not about defending every federal agency, but again, we should be able to agree that people deserve to be healthy. They deserve to have access to preventative health care, including vaccinations. And I'm going to continue to work in my role in Congress to make sure that Nevadans have that care.
President Trump recently signed the Apex Area Technical Corrections Act that will affect the Apex Industrial Park in North Las Vegas. First of all, from your time as a state senator, you were dealing, I'm sure, with Apex at the very beginning because it was your district. Yeah. What is this going to mean in terms of streamlining, and how does it compare, for example, to the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center up in Story County, where approvals have been so speedy?
Yeah. Well, look, in the middle of a gridlocked Congress.
How did you do it?
With an administration that is hell-bent on policies that are hurting Nevadans, we were actually able to get policy passed unanimously in the House and the Senate and signed by the President of the United States.
Okay, how did you do it?
One of the things I did is I sat and I met directly with the Chairman of Natural Resources, Chairman Westerman, to talk about the importance of this bill and what it meant to my constituents back home. I invited the mayor of North Las Vegas, Pamela Goins-Brown, to come and give testimony, along with other advocates, including the Vegas Chamber and others. And we made it a local issue, which every public policy ultimately should be measured on its impact to the people back home. But what does this bill do? Simply, it streamlines the permitting process, it gets federal agencies out of the way, and it empowers the local municipality, in this case North Las Vegas, and the owners of the Apex Community Association more say in the infrastructure that they need. To do what? To bring economic development to North Las Vegas, including thousands of good paying jobs in new sectors. And we've got the new Air Liquide hydrogen plant there. We've got other major manufacturing and logistics companies that are coming into the Apex Industrial Park. The work that has been done over the years with the Reno Tahoe Industrial Park is an example of what we can do when we work together in partnership, public-private, but with a focus on economic diversification and economic development at the forefront. So I'm really proud of this bill. It is a big deal to get something done in Congress, being in the minority, but it's part of what I've committed to my constituents. I'm not here to grandstand. I'm here to get things done. And this was a bill that my constituents said was important to them, and we were able to deliver.
Okay, so that's the Congress. How did you get the president to sign it?
Well, it was a good bill, and we didn't make it about me or party. We made it about the people back home in Nevada. The president is the president of the United States. He has a job to do. And fortunately, he did not see any objections in putting his signature on this legislation. But now that it's signed into law, the people of North Las Vegas, the developers, the businesses, and most importantly, the residents who are going to benefit from those jobs are the biggest beneficiaries of the policy becoming law.
And is this a pathway perhaps to other legislation getting passed?
I'm
an optimist.
I know, and I've been out showing and showcasing this bill to my colleagues. I'm a member of the Problem Solvers Caucus. I meet with Republicans on a regular basis. I'm here to solve problems. And we have a lot of them, whether it's workforce development, dealing with AI, addressing our healthcare crisis, tackling the stubborn cost inflation on everything from childcare to healthcare to housing. We need common sense solutions, and we need to be able to work together to get things done. We're not going to be able to do it on every issue, but we should be able to do it on the issues that matter to the people back home in a bipartisan way.
And we'll be back on Nevada Newsmakers with Congressman Stephen Horsford after this time out. As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
Meet Nevada Health Link, Nevada's official health insurance marketplace. Your link to savings, selection, free assistance, and name brand health insurance, where 90% of enrollees lower the cost of their monthly premium. Everyone deserves access to quality health coverage, no matter your income or family size. Visit NevadaHealthLink.com. A few minutes could save you hundreds of dollars per month.
Nevada Health Link. Our plans are made for your plans.
Like a traditional handmade basket, retail is woven into the fabric of life in Nevada. From big box to mom and pop, retail supports our communities in countless ways. Jobs for the disabled, team uniforms for kids, help for the elderly, and so much more. Retail employs over 1 in 10 workers. Retail supports Nevada, and we support retail.
RANNV.org.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, coming to you from Washington, D.C. with Congressman Stephen Horsford of CD4. You brought up AI and concerns. Lay them out.
Well, I was just appointed chair of a new brain trust on tech and innovation. And so as part of this role, not only are we looking to lean in partnership with industry on the advantages of AI and tech innovation, but also to talk about some of the difficult issues. You know, we know that there will be impact to the workforce, for example. We know that consumers will be impacted based on the use of AI in their own data. We just heard, unfortunately, one of the healthcare providers using AI to make determinations about pre-authorization for healthcare. Those are some of the challenges and concerns, and we need to make sure that there's a proper federal framework, oversight, and regulatory environment as AI gets adopted. That's one of the reasons we worked hard to prevent the Republican bill from basically prohibiting states from even having AI regulation. This is something that is important to protecting consumers, protecting jobs, but also making sure that whatever new tech and innovation comes to the market is done in a way that takes into consideration some of the civil liberties and civil rights concerns that should be a part of any good policy.
No argument there, but I think another piece of this will be a massive education program for the public so that they understand that this is something that is an aid but is not necessarily 100% factual. For example, if one were to use ChatGPT and look at oneself, the information that comes back, you will see, is not 100% accurate. In fact, it may only be 50% accurate. Mm-hmm. So how do we let the public know you can trust this to a degree, but you need to double check it? Yeah. Verify.
Well, I refer to that as digital literacy, right? And just like we have financial literacy, we have literacy in our healthcare system, we need to have digital literacy for AI and particularly for tech. Definitely for the consumers and the users, as you said, for like a program like ChatGPT. But the thing is, there's a new software program app coming out virtually every day, right? So we're not going to be able to keep up with where the private sector is going necessarily on our regulatory structure, but we need to have a framework in place that answers these difficult policy questions and that safeguards the interest of the American people.
You brought up inflation. Are we not paying the price at this point for the debt that we've got? $37 trillion worth of debt, and this inflation doesn't appear to be going anywhere. It appears that the pricing that we are set at right now, whether it's housing, wages, this is a result of this huge financial debt. Am I right?
Well, and here we have this big ugly bill that Donald Trump and the Republicans just passed.
And that's the new Democratic statement for it.
Well, that adds $3.4 trillion to the federal debt now, which is over $37 trillion, and their bill makes it worse, all to give tax breaks to billionaires and to big corporations.
May I just interject?
Yeah.
From the other side, that they would point out that it doesn't matter which administration, we have raised the debt by trillions of dollars.
Well, under prior administrations, Democratic administrations, what they did not do is add debt by giving tax breaks to billionaires who didn't need them. There are choices, I agree. If we're going to provide health care for families, if we're going to tackle the climate crisis, if we're going to invest in our infrastructure, those things have return on investment that every American benefits from. I don't know how giving more tax breaks to Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos is going to help bring down our federal debt or provide a return on investment to the majority of the American people.
I guess my point, though, is that Harry Reid, when I interviewed him when he was still in the Congress, said to me, we have passed the tipping point for the national debt. And I think we are well past that, and that's where we're paying the price in everything.
Well, Senator Reid, as you know, is not only a mentor to many of us, but also a statesman, both in Nevada and throughout this country. And his legacy is part of what we are going to try to carry on and honor. What I'm struggling with is the choice. We do have to make better choices, and that's true of whoever's in power. But to me, making the largest cut to health care in the lifetime, in the generation, which is now going to affect some 11 million Americans, adding $3.4 trillion to the federal debt deficit, and then giving tax breaks that were not paid for, permanent tax breaks to billionaires, while the tax breaks for working people were temporary and are capped and don't even give the benefit that were promised. Those are choices that we didn't have to make. There was a different way, but it's now law. And so we're going to have to work with what is law and to try to restore some of the worst of those cuts. And I'm focused on restoring the cuts to health care.
And we'll be back with Congressman Horsford after this timeout.
Pro Group Management is the place where companies can find workers' comp solutions that are designed to meet their specific business requirements. As regulations evolve, Pro Group takes a proactive approach to clear the path to make sure your business stays ahead of the curve. Knowing your workers' comp program is optimized, you can focus on other important matters related to your growing business. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Rev it up during the $250,000 Cash and Wheels Guaranteed giveaways at Carson Valley Inn. Thousands in cash and free play every Thursday and Saturday. Drive away with a 2025 Ford Bronco or $45,000 guaranteed. Rev it up at the Carson Valley Inn.
Welcome to the Ahern Boutique Hotel, where luxury and warmth come together in the heart of Las Vegas.
We take pride in offering a one-of-a-kind experience for both locals and tourists.
Join us for handcrafted cocktails and an unforgettable experience.
Joel's Chop House, the perfect place to savor views of the Las Vegas Strip.
Satisfy your cravings at the Ahern Chocolate Shop.
No smoking, no resort fees, and the parking is always free. The Ahern Luxury Boutique Hotel is your home away from home.
Fantastic cocktails and delicious food.
It's a good time to eat.
Over 500 hot slots, plus electronic table games.
It's a good time to play.
Player rewards and big-time jackpots.
It's a good time to win.
Ooh, your good times are tamarind.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Congressman Stephen Horsford of CD4. You toured the privately run ICE facility in Pahrump 3 weeks after you were denied access. What do you think was cleaned up in the interim? Was there a lack of legal representation in healthcare as you considered?
Mm-hmm. Well, first, every member of Congress under the law has the right and the authority to do inspections of federal facilities. And I've done these inspections of many facilities throughout my term, and this is the first time I've ever been denied access and been called a security risk by the warden.
This is a privately run prison?
It's a privately run prison, but it's contracted through the Department of Homeland Security, and they have to follow certain guidelines and law, and this is the first time I've been denied. Secondly, this facility is located in my district. And so I wasn't there just taken some type of a tour through rural Nevada. These are areas of my district that I represent. Thirdly, between the time I first requested the inspection and when I was finally permitted access and met with detainees, reports were that the facility had been cleaned up, meals had improved, medical attention that had been denied or delayed were finally being permitted, but there were still egregious issues that I saw even after the delay.
Can you give us a quick example?
So, for example, there was a detainee that needed medical care and had been denied that access to care. Another detainee that had been woken up in the middle of the night and transferred to another facility across state lines with no notice. Now, again, these are individuals who committed a crime and are detained for a purpose, but there are certain rights under the law, and if these facilities are not honoring those rights, we have every right to know it, and that's what I was attempting to do.
And that's how we have to leave it. I thank you so much for doing this, as always. Pleasure to see you, sir.
Good to be seen.
And we will be right back.
Welcome to Story County, where history meets innovation, and a pioneering spirit continues to shape our future. At the heart of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, we power the future with global leaders in technology and manufacturing, driving progress that reaches far beyond our county lines. From advanced manufacturing to tech innovation, our industries are creating thousands of quality careers, fueling a vibrant economy that benefits every Nevadan. But it's more than just growth. Our community is our foundation, supporting families, empowering local initiatives, and creating a place where everyone belongs. Be part of a legacy built on bold ideas and boundless possibilities. Join us in building a brighter future right here in Story County. Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to caanv.org.
The 13th Annual Nevada Newsmakers Goes to Washington is brought to you by Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you. NV Energy proudly serves Nevada, providing electricity to 2.4 million electric customers. The Nevada Mining Association, mining a better future for Nevada. Silver State Government Relations, we know Nevada, so you don't have to. And University Medical Center of Southern Nevada, offering the highest level of care in Nevada.
Thanks for watching Nevada Newsmakers. We'll see you on the next broadcast from Washington, D.C. with United States Senator Catherine Cortez Masto. See you then.